Today we're making Mabo eggplant, a Japanese aubergine stir fry. Start by top and tailing your aubergine, cutting it in half lengthways, and then again crossways into 4. Now cut each piece into 8 even wedges. You should end up with 16 aubergine pieces in total. Then take each piece and layer them in a colander over a bowl. Sprinkle each layer with salt. This removes any bitterness or astringency from the aubergine. Now take your 2 green onions, top and tail them and slice into very thin discs. Set these aside for later. Next, take a 2 to 3 inch piece of ginger, peel it using a spoon or a knife, and then mince the ginger as finely as you possibly can. I've done this using a knife, but feel free to use a ceramic grater if you prefer. Once you're done, set these aside for later. Next up, take 2 cloves of garlic, lay them flat on the board and whack them with your knife to release the skins. Now slice them as thinly as you possibly can into these thin discs. Set aside for later. And now we're going to move back to the aubergine or eggplant. We're going to rinse the salt off of these as thoroughly as we possibly can. Rinse them in cold, fresh water. Give them a good old wash and make sure the salt has been removed as much as possible. And then lay out a tea towel or some kitchen roll. And lay out your aubergine pieces and give them a thorough pat dry. Once all the excess water has been removed, you can then move on to the next step, which is placing them in a bowl and coating them with cornstarch. Use a spoon to ensure all sides are fully covered. Then heat up 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan, adding your aubergine pieces carefully and turning frequently to prevent burning and even cooking on all sides. Once they've all nicely browned, place them on a resting plate and set aside for later. Now we're going to move on to making our thickening mixture, which is essentially 1 teaspoon of cornstarch mixed with 40 ml of cold water. Now, heat up some sesame oil in a pan. Fry your garlic and ginger for a couple of minutes before adding your soya mince. Once this is looking nice and glossy, go ahead and add your doubanjiang. Stir this in until it's fully combined. Then add your spring onions. Fry for a couple of minutes. And then we want to add our soy sauce. Stir this through and watch the colour deepen, then add our vegetable stock. Bring this to a simmer before adding your miso paste. Dissolve the miso paste into the sauce. Add your sugar and then your eggplant. Stir these through and then pour over your cornstarch mixture. Keep on stirring this through and this should thicken naturally into a thick gravy-like consistency. Sprinkle over some of your green onions. And now you're basically ready to serve up. Add around a cup of Japanese rice to a bowl. And then spoon over some of that silky, spicy Mabo Nasu. Now it's time to grab your favourite pair of chopsticks and dig into this silky, spicy eggplant stir fry. And for more plant-based Japanese recipes, go to veganjapanese.com.